Do all roads lead to heaven? I think the idea behind this question is, well, all religions are kind of, teaching you how to be a good person. And so it doesn't matter so much which religion you belong to. What really matters is that you're a good person and that you try to follow some good way of teaching. And I want to just think about that a little bit here today and think about if that's an accurate thing or not. And so let's start off by looking at the example of the blind men and the elephant. You've probably heard it before, but imagine 5 different blind men who are led to touch an elephant, and one touches his trunk. He says, okay, the elephant is a big honking snake. And somebody else touches his tail, and they're like, no, you're absolutely wrong. The elephant is like a rope. Someone touches his side and says the elephant's like a wall. Someone touches his tusks and says the elephant is like a spear. And somebody else touches his leg and says, well, the elephant is like a tree. Now, I think that's a pretty cool illustration. What it captures really well is that we don't all have a full understanding of everything. And so even in religion, no religion has a complete understanding of God. However, that doesn't mean we all have the same amount of understanding or the same amount of misunderstanding. We could have another guy who comes up and he's not blind. And he says, oh, I'm a zoologist. I know exactly what this is. This is an elephant. An elephant is a gray pachyderm. This one's about 12 feet tall and he weighs maybe 7 tons. And pachyderms have trunks that are very strong and they can lift things and they can bathe with them. And they're amazing animals. I could go on and on and on. And you realize right away, it's like, okay, this guy does not have the same amount of understanding. This guy actually has a better grasp of the truth, even though all the others may have some truth. So let's look at the example of the golden rule. The golden rule is when Jesus said, do to others as you would have them do to you. And it's a great truth in Christianity, but we also see that there are similar teachings in Judaism and Buddhism and Hinduism, Confucianism, Islam, Zoroastrianism, and Baha'i. And so they all have some truth in them. They have very similar teachings, but yet they don't have the same amount of truth. And so I think the question is, which religion is the closest representation of the truth? And that might sound offensive, but I think it's good for us to recognize that they're not all equally true and not even all necessarily true. Some religions are going to be more accurate than others. Let me give you some examples. The Prince Philip movement is on the island of Tanna, and some people believe there that Prince Philip is the white son of a mountain spirit of whom their legends prophesied. So it sounds a little like something from Gilligan's Island. The Nubian Nation is an American religious group that believes that white people were created as a slave army to serve blacks. They believe that Saturn is not really a planet, that the Quran is a product of Jewish and Catholic collaboration. The cosmic people of light powers are also known as the universe people, and they believe that UFOs orbit the Earth and will someday guide followers into another dimension. And basically, the flying spaghetti monster religion believes that the only dogma or the only set of rules allowed in the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster is the rejection of dogma or the rejection of rules. And so when we look at these different religions, we realize, okay, these are not all just different paths to God. These are significantly different. And so I would ask the question, like, what is truth? And Jesus said, I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. Jesus claimed to be truth and the source of truth. And in that same verse, he says, I am the way. What is the way? The way is like a path or a road. He's like no, it's not a whole bunch of roads that lead to heaven. He says, I'm the road. I'm the way. And I'm the truth. And he's really the source of life. And I just think it's important that we understand that Jesus makes it really clear that not everybody's the same, but he is the only way to heaven. As he said there, he said, no one comes to the Father except through me. So I just encourage you to put your faith in Jesus Christ and what he's done for you. To acknowledge that you can never make it to heaven on your own, but the only way you can get to heaven is through what Jesus did for you on the cross. He is the way for you to get eternal life.